Stay with me until the very end of this video, because at the conclusion, I will share my own personal take on this story. And trust me, it might completely shock you. But for now, let's dive deep into one of the most intriguing celebrity moments of the season. A story that combines high fashion, cinematic anticipation, and a surprising walk down memory lane. And before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like. Because what you're about to hear is something you won't want to miss. When Julia Roberts steps out in public, the world notices. She is not just an actress. She is an icon who has shaped Hollywood for decades. A figure whose every move still draws cameras, headlines, and admiration. And now, at 57 years old, Roberts has managed to spark an entirely new wave of fascination, with a look that goes far beyond ordinary red carpet glamour. This isn't just about clothing. This is about history, homage, and a subtle message hidden within a bold fashion choice. On Wednesday, October 1st, in the bustling streets of New York City, Roberts was spotted wearing something that immediately demanded attention. She appeared in a black trench coat from Libertine's Spring 2026 collection. But this wasn't any ordinary coat. This one featured a striking portrait of William Shakespeare emblazoned across its design. Yes, Roberts literally wore Shakespeare on her sleeve, or rather, across her entire outerwear, making the coat not just a fashion statement, but a walking tribute to one of the greatest writers in history. But that was only half the story. Underneath the trench coat, Roberts wore a sweater dress that carried another powerful reference: the face of Luca Guadagnino, the director behind her upcoming film, After the Hunt. To complete the look, she chose black tights, glossy patent leather pointed toe pumps, a sleek black handbag, oversized sunglasses, and of course, her signature auburn hair styled neatly in an updo. The effect was both mysterious and commanding, a mixture of elegance and theatricality, as if she were deliberately blurring the line between cinema and literature. What makes this choice so fascinating is that the Shakespeare trench coat had only just debuted on the runway weeks earlier, during the Libertine's Spring 2026 New York fashion show in September. Roberts did not wait for the look to slowly filter through fashion magazines or style blogs. She seized it early, wearing it on the streets with her own twist, elevating what was once a runway piece into a cultural conversation. And this was not just a random appearance. The timing was deliberate. Roberts was seen in this striking ensemble just before heading to an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Think about that. One of America's most beloved talk shows, paired with one of Hollywood's most enduring stars, all while wearing an outfit that practically dares the audience to start asking questions. Why Shakespeare? Why Guadagnino? What was she trying to say? If you've been following Roberts on the press tour for After the Hunt, then you know this isn't the first time she's turned clothing into a form of storytelling. She has repeatedly chosen outfits that feature the faces of her director, Luca Guadagnino, and her co-star, Andrew Garfield. It's as though she is weaving the narrative of the film into her very wardrobe, reminding the public that this project is not just another movie, it's an event. Every appearance, every red carpet, every candid photo becomes part of the film's larger mythos. And Roberts is no stranger to using fashion as a kind of coded language. Let's rewind the clock. Back in 1990, at the Golden Globes, she made headlines when she arrived in a men's Armani suit. At the time, it was a bold departure from the glittering gowns expected of Hollywood's leading ladies. It wasn't just stylish, it was rebellious, a statement that challenged gender norms and redefined what it meant to be glamorous. That suit has since become one of the most iconic moments in red carpet history. Fast forward 35 years, and Roberts is still finding ways to keep that legacy alive. In a recent interview with Extra on September 30th, sitting alongside her After the Hunt castmates, Roberts revealed that she still owns that very same Armani suit. Not only that, but her 18-year-old son Henry recently tried it on. The image is almost cinematic, a garment that once symbolized a groundbreaking moment in her career, now passed down to the next generation, worn casually by her son at home. Fashion becomes history, and history becomes family. The conversation during that interview grew even more interesting when her co-star Ayo Edebiri, known for her breakout role in The Bear, reacted with wide-eyed amazement that Roberts still had the suit in her closet. Roberts even teased her younger colleague, suggesting that she might bring the suit to set so that Edebiri could try it on herself. The exchange was lighthearted, but telling. Roberts is not just holding on to her past. She is actively inviting the next wave of talent to share in it, to feel the weight of what that suit represents. And here's where the connections get even deeper. Earlier this year, in January, Ayo Edebiri herself stepped into a similar sartorial moment. Styled by Danielle Goldberg, she attended the Golden Globes in a custom gray Loewe suit, complete with a gold feather-like tie. It was modern, fresh, and undeniably reminiscent of Roberts' own legendary 1990 look. When asked about her choice, Edebiri admitted that she has a passion for suits, especially the sharp silhouettes of 90s Armani. In her words, "They're just like the best. It's almost poetic, the younger star channeling the very essence of Roberts' defining moment, only to later discover that the original suit still exists, tucked away in Roberts' wardrobe." This intergenerational fashion dialogue adds another layer to the story. It shows how Roberts' influence stretches far beyond the screen. She is not only starring in new films and attending press tours, she is shaping culture, inspiring younger stars, and reminding the world that fashion is not superficial. It is a language of power, continuity, and reinvention. But let's not forget the context of After the Hunt. This upcoming film is more than just a backdrop to these fashion choices. It's a gripping academia-themed drama set at an elite university, where Roberts plays Alma, a stoic professor suddenly entangled in a scandal. Her student, played by Edebiri, accuses Alma's colleague, portrayed by Andrew Garfield, of sexual assault. The film promises to be intense, morally complex, and layered with performances that challenge both the actors and the audience. Seen in this light, Roberts' decision to wear Shakespeare on her coat feels almost deliberate. Shakespeare, after all, was a writer obsessed with human flaws, power struggles, and the blurred lines between truth and deception. Is Roberts signaling to us that After the Hunt will grapple with themes as timeless and unsettling as those found in Shakespeare's plays? Or is it simply a nod to her own love of literature, worn proudly as she steps once again into the spotlight? What we do know is this: Julia Roberts continues to captivate, not by playing it safe, but by daring to surprise us. Every appearance is carefully orchestrated, every look layered with meaning. And as the world watches her prepare for the release of After the Hunt, we can be certain of one thing: Roberts is once again proving why she remains one of Hollywood's most fascinating figures. And now, as promised, here comes my personal take on this story. You've waited until the very end, and I guarantee you, what I'm about to say might not be what you expect. When we look at Julia Roberts stepping onto the streets of New York in a trench coat bearing the image of Shakespeare, paired with a sweater dress featuring the face of Luca Guadagnino, it is tempting to dismiss it as a playful celebrity quirk, just another eccentric fashion choice. But I believe it's something far more intentional, far more revealing about where Roberts is in her career and what she wants to project to the world. Roberts has always been more than just a movie star. She has always been a storyteller, not only through her performances, but through the way she crafts her public image. The Shakespeare coat is not simply a trendy garment pulled from the runway. It is a declaration. It is Roberts aligning herself with the greatest storyteller in the English language, a man whose words have transcended centuries, whose plays dissect the human condition in ways that still leave audiences in awe. By wearing Shakespeare, Roberts is saying, I too am part of this tradition of storytelling. I too belong to the cultural conversation that outlives time. But then there is Guadagnino's face, and here is where it becomes layered, even provocative. Some might say it is odd, even self-indulgent, to wear the face of your own director or your own co-stars. But Roberts doesn't see it that way. This is not vanity. This is strategy. She is literally carrying the faces of her collaborators on her body, as if to say, this film matters, these people matter, this story matters. She is transforming her press tour into performance art. It is marketing and devotion at the same time. She doesn't just want you to know about After the Hunt. She wants you to feel its presence everywhere. And that is where the genius lies. For decades, we've seen celebrities parade in gowns, suits, and diamonds. Most of those looks fade into memory. But Roberts is choosing fashion that tells a story. Fashion that forces us to look deeper. That's why we're even having this conversation right now. Without the Shakespeare coat, without the Guadagnino sweater, this might have been just another night on the town. Instead, it became a cultural moment. Now let's talk about the other layer. Her Armani suit from 1990. That suit wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a rebellion. It was Roberts saying she would not be confined to Hollywood's expectations of femininity. And the fact that she still has it, decades later, and even allows her son to wear it, tells us something profound about Roberts' worldview. She understands legacy. She understands continuity. She understands that clothes, like films, can hold memories, can pass meaning from one generation to the next. And when her younger co-star, Ayo Edebiri, lights up at the thought of trying on that very suit, we witness a symbolic passing of the torch. Roberts isn't just clinging to her past. She is sharing it, opening the door for the next generation to step into her history while simultaneously building their own. It's almost Shakespearean in itself, a cycle of legacy, reinvention, and inheritance. So here is my bold claim. Julia Roberts is not simply promoting a film. She is staging a masterclass in how to remain relevant in an industry that often forgets its stars the moment they step away from the spotlight. She is proving that reinvention doesn't mean abandoning the past. It means carrying it with you, reshaping it, layering it with new meaning, and presenting it back to the world in ways that feel fresh, daring, and unforgettable. To me, Julia Roberts wearing Shakespeare is not about nostalgia or gimmick. It's about power. It's about standing tall in a world that constantly asks women, especially women in Hollywood, to step aside after a certain age. She has reminded us that cultural icons don't fade, they evolve. And if anything, Julia Roberts has proven that at 57, she is more daring, more relevant, and more commanding than ever before. So what do you think? Is Julia Roberts simply having fun with fashion? Or is she carefully orchestrating a deeper narrative about art, legacy, and identity? Let me know your thoughts, because this story doesn't end here. It's just beginning.